The sun shone brightly over the military training camp, creating a warm glow that cast long shadows across the dusty ground. This was no ordinary place. It was a world dedicated to transforming civilians into skilled soldiers. The air buzzed with energy and determination as recruits prepared for another grueling day of training. Sounds of boots stomping, voices shouting, and equipment clanging filled the atmosphere, vibrant with the spirit of hard work and commitment. Beneath a majestic oak tree, groups of soldiers clustered together when they weren't in motion. There was an unspoken bond formed through shared sweat and struggles in the unforgiving heat. Rivalries sparked occasionally, especially between those vying for top spots in their training drills. Everyone wanted to be the best, or at least not to be seen as weak. Yet beneath that competitive spirit lay a deep camaraderie, the understanding that they were all part of something much larger than themselves. As new recruits arrived at the camp, seasoned soldiers welcomed them with a mixture of amusement and challenge. They would put the rookies through their paces, testing their limits and watching as each newbie adjusted to the rigorous demands placed upon them. It was a rite of passage, and everyone had to go through it. Among this sea of faces was one rookie who stood out, though not yet known by her fellow recruits. She had grit in her eyes and confidence in her stride. Little did anyone know she was destined to become their next SEAL captain. Underneath her seemingly simple exterior lay unmatched determination and strength earned through years of preparation. As morning drills began, she blended into the chaos like any other recruit while carrying herself with quiet assurance. Though initially underestimated by many, she knew that within this challenging environment lay an opportunity, a chance to earn respect and build lasting relationships with her peers. But today would turn out differently than anyone expected. As fellow recruits dashed between exercises, one soldier, caught up in the moment, made a mistake that would change everything. He unwittingly poured water over her shoulders during one of the drills, oblivious to her true identity as their future leader. Laughter erupted around them, setting off a chain reaction of events that would soon reveal how quickly perceptions can shift in this world where every step matters. As the sun rose higher in the sky, casting sharp shadows on the training field, it was time for the recruits to take a closer look at one of their own, the rookie who would soon become their new SEAL captain. Her name was Sarah, and she was unlike anyone they had met before. With a determined expression and a posture that radiated confidence, it was clear that she possessed both the skill and ambition needed for a leadership role. Sarah had not always dreamed of becoming a soldier, but a significant moment in her life changed everything. Growing up in a small coastal town, she spent her childhood exploring the ocean with her father, who was a Navy veteran himself. He filled her days with stories of bravery, adventure, and the importance of serving one's country. Those tales ignited a passion within Sarah, compelling her to explore her potential beyond the horizon. In high school, she excelled in sports, particularly swimming and track, where she learned the value of dedication and hard work. It was during these formative years that she discovered her strength, not just physical strength, but also mental resilience. After graduation, Sarah made the bold decision to enlist in the Navy, eager to follow in her father's footsteps and make him proud. Training was tough, but invigorating. Each day presented new challenges that tested her limits. Sarah quickly forged connections with other recruits while showcasing her exceptional abilities. She excelled in obstacle courses and tactical drills, earning respect for her skills and quick thinking under pressure. But even as she thrived in this demanding environment, the weight of leadership loomed over her as an unknown future awaited. Though she wore her uniform like everyone else, Sarah often felt a unique burden as she prepared for the role of captain. She knew that earning recognition wouldn't come easily. It required proving herself time and again. As she stood among her peers during morning drills, she remained focused on what lay ahead while quietly preparing to rise to the occasion. Little did she know that today's unexpected splash would set off a chain of events that would challenge her resolve while revealing her true character to those around her. With determination burning bright within her, a fire lit long ago by dreams, Sarah was ready to embrace whatever came next. As the morning drills continued, the recruits moved with a sense of urgency, sweat glistening on their brows. Sarah stood in line, mentally preparing for her next exercise. Today, they were about to engage in a series of high-intensity obstacle courses designed to test their agility and teamwork. Excitement mixed with nerves filled the air as soldiers shouted encouragement and challenged one another to push harder. Just as the whistle blew to signal the start of the drill, chaos erupted. A veteran soldier named Jake, known for his boisterous personality, was caught up in his own competitive spirit. He had just filled a water jug to cool off after a strenuous workout and turned to find his teammates ready to cheer on their fellow recruits. In his excitement and distraction, he took a step back without looking and accidentally knocked the jug over, sending a splash of water straight towards Sarah. Time seemed to freeze for a moment as the cold water drenched her uniform, soaking through her shirt and splattering onto the ground. Laughter erupted from nearby recruits, their eyes widening as they witnessed the blunder. "Nice aim, Jake," one shouted, while another chimed in. "Looks like someone needs to pay more attention." Sarah's cheeks flushed with embarrassment, but she quickly composed herself. She could feel the eyes of her peers on her, some giggling while others looked on with curiosity. Unknown to them all was that she was not just another rookie, but the future SEAL captain. The laughter echoed in her ears, but instead of letting it deter her, she chose to embrace the moment. Jake turned around, realizing his mistake too late. His expression shifted from amusement to shock as he recognized Sarah in her soaked state. "Oh no, I didn't mean to," he started, his voice trailing off as he saw her unwavering gaze. With a smile that masked her irritation, Sarah laughed along with everyone else. "I guess I needed a wake-up call," she said playfully. The reaction surprised Jake and shifted the atmosphere from one of ridicule to respect. In that fleeting exchange, something changed. Her response showed resilience and humor, qualities that would soon define her leadership style. As they resumed the drill, whispers spread among the recruits about Sarah's quick comeback. The laughter faded, replaced by a newfound awareness of who she really was, a rookie ready to rise above challenges and lead with strength. This incident would mark the beginning of changing perceptions within the group and set the stage for what was to come. As the laughter faded, Sarah felt a mix of emotions swirling inside her. Initially, she had managed to laugh off the incident, but beneath her smile lay frustration. The other recruits still viewed her as just another rookie, someone to poke fun at rather than recognize as a future leader. It stung more than she wanted to admit. While they were laughing and joking, she felt invisible beneath the surface, fighting against their assumptions. The group resumed their drills with renewed energy, yet Sarah found it hard to focus. Each shout of encouragement felt like a distant echo as she watched her peers pair up and strategize for the next obstacle course. "Did you see that? She got soaked," one soldier remarked, eliciting further chuckles from his friends. Their laughter felt like a reminder of what they didn't know about her, about who she was destined to become. Frustration bubbled within her. She had worked incredibly hard to reach this point in her life, and yet here she was, reduced to a punchline in a playful joke. With each passing moment, Sarah struggled against feelings of being underestimated. She wanted to yell out that she wasn't just another recruit. She was their new captain. But fear of drawing attention only deepened her silence. Would they take her seriously if they saw her as someone who couldn't even keep water off her uniform? As the exercises progressed, she channeled this tension into determination. While others may have laughed at her misfortune, Sarah knew that actions speak louder than words. If they didn't see her potential now, she would have to show them through grit and perseverance on the obstacle course ahead. During the next drill, with adrenaline coursing through her veins, Sarah tightened her focus and pushed herself harder than ever before. She raced through each challenge, executing every maneuver with precision and speed. As she moved past her peers with newfound intensity, some began to exchange glances, surprised by how quickly she recovered from the earlier embarrassment. One recruit muttered under his breath as he watched her soar through an obstacle. Maybe she's not just another rookie after all. That spark of realization was what Sarah had hoped for, a turning point where misunderstanding could shift into respect. In that moment, despite feeling a backdrop of tension and confusion around her, she knew she would rise above their low expectations and lead them towards something greater. Determined to rise above the misunderstanding, Sarah decided to seize the moment as an opportunity to showcase her leadership skills. As the drills progressed, she observed her fellow recruits struggling with certain obstacles, particularly in the team exercises, where coordination was key. This was her chance to step in and guide them, proving that she was more than just a rookie. Gathering her thoughts, Sarah took a deep breath and called out to her peers. "Hey everyone, let's regroup for a minute. I have some ideas that might help us tackle the next challenge together." Her voice rang clear over the noise of the training field, catching the attention of those around her. Some exchanged glances, surprised by her initiative. As they gathered around, Sarah quickly laid out a plan. "I noticed we're all trying to tackle these obstacles individually, but if we work together and communicate better, we can get through them faster." She gestured towards the next obstacle, a challenging wall that required teamwork to scale efficiently. Her enthusiasm was contagious. Slowly but surely, the mood shifted from skepticism to intrigue. The recruits began discussing strategies and sharing tips on how best to navigate the wall. Sarah led them through warm-up exercises before they attempted it as a team, reinforcing their bond while building camaraderie. When it came time to face the wall, Sarah took charge. "On 3, we'll push together," she instructed confidently. 1, 2, 3. With synchronized effort, they each grabbed hold of their teammates and helped each other climb. Laughter and cheers erupted as they made it over successfully, followed by high fives and pats on the back. Seeing Sarah's ability to lead and motivate them sparked admiration among the recruits. "Okay, maybe she's not just another rookie," one soldier admitted quietly to his friend as Sarah encouraged everyone for their next attempt. With each successful obstacle completed, Sarah's confidence grew alongside her peers' respect for her leadership potential. They began to see her not just as someone who had been splashed with water, but as a capable leader who could unite them in challenging times. By embracing the misunderstanding, rather than allowing it to diminish her spirit, Sarah transformed what could have been a moment of embarrassment into a powerful display of teamwork and resilience. It marked a turning point in their training, a lesson learned about strength in unity and recognizing true leadership when it appeared before them. With the momentum from their recent success, the recruits prepared for an upcoming team-building exercise that would challenge their unity even further. The drill sergeant gathered everyone, announcing, "Today, you will face the team assault course. This is not just about speed. It's about how well you work together. Your goal is to complete the course as a united front." Excitement mixed with apprehension rippled through the group. Sarah felt a surge of determination. This was her chance to solidify her role as a leader. As the recruits approached the start of the course, Sarah quickly assessed the different obstacles ahead: a rope climb, a muddy pit, and a series of tires that required careful navigation. "Listen up," she called, gathering her fellow recruits. "We need to strategize. The rope climb is tough, but if we help each other up, we can all make it over. Let's tackle this together." Her voice exuded confidence, and she could see her peers nodding in agreement. The first obstacle was the rope climb. As recruits began scaling it one by one, Sarah watched closely. When she noticed a teammate struggling halfway up, she rushed over. "You got this! Just focus on your grip and push through." Her encouragement inspired that recruit to keep going, and with a little guidance from Sarah, they both reached the top. Next came the muddy pit. The recruits hesitated, unsure of how to navigate through the slippery terrain. Sensing their uncertainty, Sarah stepped forward. "We can form a human chain. If we hold on to each other tightly, we'll get through more easily." Taking charge, she positioned herself at the front of the line and instructed her teammates on how to hold on securely as they moved together. As they entered the mud, laughter erupted when someone slipped and fell, covered in muck. Instead of allowing it to break their spirits, Sarah joined in the laughter and reminded everyone, "We're all in this together. Let's keep pushing." Her positive attitude motivated them to work as a cohesive unit, helping one another navigate the mess. Finally, they faced the tires. Sarah urged her team to communicate as they jumped from one tire to another. "Talk to each other. Let's shout out directions." The recruits began to guide each other through the challenge, developing trust and teamwork along the way. As they crossed the finish line, cheers erupted around them. The sense of accomplishment was palpable. Exhausted but exhilarated, Sarah looked around at her fellow recruits with pride. They had not only completed the course, but had also bonded in a way that transcended their initial perceptions. In that moment, Sarah realized that her leadership was not defined by rank alone. It came from her ability to inspire and unite her team. Their shared success strengthened her resolve and solidified her place among them. not just as a rookie, but as an emerging leader, ready for what lay ahead. As training continued, the camaraderie among the recruits flourished, and each day presented new opportunities for Sarah to earn her peers' respect. The turning point came during a particularly rigorous morning training session focused on combat readiness. The recruits were divided into teams, each assigned specific tasks that mirrored real-life rescue scenarios. Sarah's team was tasked with navigating through a mock hostile environment to retrieve a wounded soldier. The drill began, and the atmosphere was intense. As her team faced challenges, from simulated gunfire to confusing terrain, Sarah remembered the importance of communication and teamwork. "Stay close and watch each other's backs," she shouted, her voice cutting through the tension. Her confidence instilled a sense of purpose in her teammates. When they reached their injured comrade, they were confronted with a complex situation. They had to lift him over obstacles while remaining low to avoid detection. Sarah quickly assessed their positions and organized everyone efficiently for the task ahead. "Jason, hold his legs. Kelly, grab his arms. On 3, we move fast. Ready? 1, 2, 3. They operated like a well-oiled machine, moving swiftly together under Sarah's guidance. A few meters away, Jake, who had accidentally dripped water all over her during the earlier drill, was watching in awe. He recalled how he once saw her as just another rookie, lost in the chaos of training. Now, here she was leading their team through one of the toughest challenges without hesitation or doubt. As they maneuvered past obstacles with their injured teammate, Jake rushed to help hold up a section when one of their team members stumbled. "Sarah's way worked. Keep going," he encouraged, surprising himself at how motivated he felt following her lead. When the drill concluded and they successfully retrieved their comrade without losing anyone along the way, cheers erupted around them. The drill sergeant praised their performance, but placed special emphasis on how well Sarah had led them. "Great job showing true teamwork out there, especially you, Sarah. You kept your head clear and inspired your team." The moment impacted Jake significantly. He approached Sarah after the debriefing with a genuine smile. "I owe you an apology," he admitted sheepishly. "I didn't realize you had it in you to lead like that." Sarah smiled back at him, feeling more connected than ever to her fellow recruits. With every challenge she faced and every compliment received, it became clearer that she had transcended her reputation as merely a rookie. She was emerging as a leader, one who combined determination with compassion, and slowly but surely winning over those around her. Respect was no longer just something she wanted. It was becoming something she earned genuinely through action and support for those beside her. That evening, after a long day of training, Sarah found herself sitting on a bench outside the barracks, fatigue settling into her bones. The sun dipped below the horizon, casting a golden hue over the camp as she reflected on the day's events. She couldn't help but smile at how far she had come, from being embarrassed by Jake's water mishap to successfully leading her team in the combat readiness drill. As she gazed toward the training field, she could see Jake sitting alone a few benches away, a contemplative look on his face. After a moment's hesitation, she decided to approach him. "Mind if I join you?" she asked, hoping they could talk after all they had experienced together. Jake looked up, his expression shifting from surprise to warmth. "Of course," he replied. "I've been thinking about our initial encounter, how I just made a fool of myself, and you turned it into something good." Sarah chuckled softly. Yeah, that was quite a start. But honestly, it pushed me to show what I can do, not just for myself, but for everyone else. He nodded thoughtfully. I didn't realize how much leadership can shape a group until I saw you today. You not only led us through the obstacle course, you motivated us when we were unsure and struggling. Feeling a spark of connection in the conversation, Sarah continued. Leadership isn't just about giving orders. It's about lifting others up and believing in them when they doubt themselves. I had to remind myself of that too during my moments of frustration. Jake took a deep breath, reflecting on her words. It makes me think about how easy it is to overlook someone's potential because of first impressions. I'm glad I got to see who you really are. His sincerity resonated with her. Sarah smiled warmly at him. Thank you for saying that. We're all here for a reason. We have our strengths and weaknesses. It's how we support each other that truly matters. In that moment, they both understood that being leaders didn't mean they had to be perfect. It meant accepting mistakes and using them as lessons to grow stronger together. As the stars began to appear in the night sky, both Sarah and Jake found comfort in this shared insight. Leadership was about resilience and compassion in tough circumstances. Whether rookie or veteran, each soldier had something valuable to contribute in moments when teamwork became critical. With renewed confidence and camaraderie blooming between them, Sarah felt ready for whatever challenges lay ahead, while Jake embraced the wisdom of humility and learning from those around him. Together, they would navigate their journey, not as just individuals, but as part of a united force growing increasingly stronger every day. The day of the final test arrived, and the atmosphere at the training camp was electric with anticipation. The recruits gathered early, their spirits high as they prepared to face the toughest challenge yet. A simulated full-scale mission that would require every ounce of teamwork and trust they had cultivated over the past weeks. The drill sergeant stood before them, eyes fierce yet filled with encouragement. Today, you will demonstrate everything you've learned. This is your moment to shine. As they divided into teams, Sarah felt a familiar rush of determination wash over her. She had grown significantly alongside her fellow recruits, and now, as she observed their interactions, she could sense the bond they shared, a bond born from shared struggles and victories. Jake stood beside her, nodding in solidarity as they prepared for their first obstacle, an expansive wall designed to test both physical strength and strategy. "Remember, we have to communicate," Sarah called out as they approached the wall. "Let's work together and get everyone over." Her confidence inspired resolve in those around her. With Jake by her side, they formulated a plan. One by one, they began scaling the wall, with teammates forming a human pyramid at the base to help boost each other up. When one recruit faltered, Jake quickly moved to offer a steady hand while Sarah shouted motivational words. "You got this! Keep pushing!" The cheers from their teammates fueled their momentum. Having conquered the wall, the team rushed forward to face the next challenge, a mud pit with obstacles strewn throughout. Their strategy was crucial here, as they had to navigate through sticky terrain without losing anyone along the way. Sarah looked at her peers and saw understanding in their eyes. They were ready to trust each other. "Form a line. Hold on to one another," she commanded. As they waded through the mud, falling and helping each other back up became part of the experience. Laughter echoed amidst the grunts of exertion, and what could have been a frustrating ordeal turned into a lesson in resilience and unity. Finally, they reached the last task, a series of tires that required quick thinking and swift movements. With sweat dripping down their faces and adrenaline pumping through their veins, Sarah saw her team working in sync like never before. They communicated, encouraged one another, and executed their strategy flawlessly. As they crossed the finish line together, exhausted but exhilarated, cheers erupted from not only their group, but also from those who watched nearby. The sergeant gave them a proud nod. In that moment of triumph, Sarah realized how far their journey had taken them. They had formed a cohesive unit that not only trusted one another, but also embraced each other's strengths and weaknesses. It was more than just completing an obstacle course. It was about building character and resilience in challenging times. As Sarah exchanged smiles with Jake and the rest of her team, she understood that this was just the beginning of their journey together. They were no longer individuals lost in the chaos of training. They were part of something bigger, a family bound by shared experiences and unwavering support for one another. Together, they were ready to take on whatever lay ahead as they prepared to step into their roles as leaders in training, a united force growing stronger every day. As the recruits gathered after completing the final test, an air of celebration filled the training camp. Cheers erupted from their peers who had watched them navigate their challenges with such grace and teamwork. The drill sergeant stood at the forefront, pride radiating from him as he addressed the group. "You've shown what it means to work together and trust each other. Today, you didn't just overcome obstacles, you built a family." Sarah looked around at her fellow recruits, their faces flushed with excitement and accomplishment. They had transformed from a group of strangers into a tightly knit unit that supported each other through thick and thin. Jake stood beside her, still grinning from ear to ear. The nervousness and uncertainty that had once defined him were gone, replaced by the confidence he had gained through shared victories. "Remember when I spilled that water on you?" Jake said with a chuckle. "I never would have guessed that it could lead us here." Sarah laughed, recalling how that moment had ignited a chain reaction of respect and camaraderie among them all. It was a perfect reminder that first impressions could be misleading. Sometimes what seemed like a setback turned into an opportunity for growth. As they celebrated with high fives and laughter, Sarah felt a wave of gratitude wash over her. She realized that true leadership wasn't about having a title or being in charge. It was about how you uplift others when challenges arise. Throughout this journey, she had learned to listen, to motivate, and to work alongside her teammates instead of above them. The day culminated in a heartfelt ceremony where each recruit received a token symbolizing their growth and commitment to one another, a small emblem with the word "Unity" engraved on it. As Sarah accepted her token, she felt empowered by everything they had faced together. In that moment of reflection, she recognized that leadership would continue to evolve beyond training. It was about carrying the lessons learned here into every aspect of life. With her teammates by her side, they were ready to tackle whatever lay ahead, not as individuals, but as a united force. As the stars twinkled in the night sky above the training camp, they celebrated not just their successes, but also the bonds that would carry them through future challenges. They had become more than recruits. They were leaders in their own right. People who understood that true strength lies in supporting one another, embracing differences, and rising above adversity together. The journey was far from over, but they now faced it with confidence, trust, and a deep sense of belonging. A family forged in perseverance and resilience.